In the quiet stretch of northern Colorado, tucked between soft hills and long roads that seemed to lead nowhere and everywhere at once, there was a small town called Ridgewood. It wasn't the kind of place people talked about on the news or visited for vacation. It was a town where the grocery store cashier knew everyone's dog by name, and where the sunsets disappeared behind farm fields as if melting into the land. Ridgewood was just another dot on the map. But for Evan Parker, 14 years old, quiet, thoughtful, always carrying a sketchbook under his arm, Ridgewood was home. And for Lily Carter, 15, new in town, warm-smiled and endlessly curious, Ridgewood was the last place she ever expected to fall in love. Chapter 1. The First Day. It began on a Monday in early September, the kind that still felt like summer, even though school had already started. Evan was sitting on the steps outside Ridgewood Middle School, drawing the old oak tree that stood in the center of the courtyard. He liked mornings before the bell. The world felt slow and soft, like it hadn't fully woken up. That's when he noticed her. A girl he had never seen before was standing near the front doors, clutching the straps of her backpack, turning her head as if searching for something familiar in a place where everything was new. Her light brown hair caught the morning sun, glowing like a small fire, and there was this hesitant hope in her eyes, like she wanted the day to go well, but didn't trust it just yet. Evan didn't know why, but he couldn't look away. She noticed him watching. Hi, she said, walking over with a shy smile. Do you know where the main office is? I'm kinda lost already. Evan blinked, sat up straighter. Yeah. It's inside. Take the hall to the right. I can show you, if you want. That would be awesome. I'm Lily, by the way. Lily Carter. Evan. It was simple, ordinary, and somehow the start of everything. As they walked inside, Lily asked him questions. How big the school was, whether the teachers were strict, whether the vending machine actually worked, or if it was just for decoration. Evan answered each one, surprised by how easy she was to talk to. Most people made him nervous. Lily didn't. Lily asked him, "What do you want to do with me?" It was simple, ordinary, and somehow the start of everything. At lunch, she waved at him from across the cafeteria and asked if he wanted to sit with her. Evan hesitated. He usually ate alone, but something in the way she tilted her head, hopeful but not pushing, made him nod. That lunch turned into the next, and the next, and suddenly they were walking home together every afternoon, even though Lily lived in the opposite direction. She said she didn't mind the extra distance. Evan suspected she actually liked it. They talked about everything and nothing. Music, big dreams, why the world felt different at night, why growing up felt confusing, favorite movies, favorite ice cream flavors, why Lily hated math but loved astronomy. Evan showed her his sketches, shy at first, but when she said, "These are incredible," he felt something warm spread through him, something he didn't have a name for yet. One afternoon, as they walked along the dirt path behind the baseball field, Lily kicked a small rock and said quietly, "Do you ever feel like you're waiting for something, but you don't know what it is?" Evan nodded. "Yeah, all the time." She looked at him then, not at his shoes or his sketchbook or the ground, but truly at him. And he looked back. It was the first moment they understood that something was happening between them. Something that felt bigger than their small town, bigger than their age. something that felt like the beginning of love. Chapter 3. The Days That Felt Like Forever. As the weeks passed, Ridgewood changed. Or maybe Evan just saw it differently now. The simple streets, the little park, the river that curved behind the old mill, they became the backdrop to something he didn't want to end. They spent weekends exploring the town, buying cheap hot chocolate at the corner cafe, skipping rocks at the river, lying on the grass in the park as they talked about constellations. Lily liked to guess what the shapes meant, telling stories that made the stars feel alive. "This one," she said once, pointing upward, "is the guardian. He protects people who feel alone." Evan smiled. "What about that one?" "That's the dreamer," she said. "They're always looking up, searching for a place they've never seen." "Sounds like someone I know," Evan teased. She nudged him with her shoulder. "Hey, you draw the stars better than I do." They laughed. They always laughed. But somewhere beneath that laughter, something else was growing. Quiet, steady, impossible to ignore. A feeling so new and so strong that neither of them knew how to talk about it. Until the day they did. It was October. The air cool, but not cold. They were sitting on the swings in the park, their feet brushing the dirt. The sunset painted the sky in orange and rose. Lily swung gently back and forth. "Evan, yeah. Do you know why I like hanging out with you so much?" He shook his head. "Because you make everything feel okay. Like even the scary stuff isn't that bad. Like I can tell you anything and you won't laugh at me." "I wouldn't," Evan said softly. "I know." She turned her head. "You're different. In a good way." Period. Evan felt his chest tighten. "Nobody said that to me before." She smiled, small and honest. "Well, now someone has." They sat in silence for a long moment, the kind that feels like a heartbeat stretching across the world. Then Evan reached over and gently took her hand. Lily froze only for a second. Then her fingers curled around his. They didn't say any big confession. Period. In that moment, it was clear. They were in love. Not the dramatic movie kind. Not the forever planned kind. But the pure, fragile first love that makes everything brighter just because the other person exists. Chapter 4. The Winter That Arrived Too Soon. In November, the weather changed faster than anyone expected. Snow arrived early, covering Ridgewood in a quiet blanket of white. The town felt smaller than ever. Warm lights in windows, kids playing in the snow, the bakery smelling like cinnamon and fresh bread. Evan and Lily spent afternoons building snowmen, throwing snowballs that always ended with both of them laughing until their cheeks burned. They drank hot chocolate so sweet it hurt their teeth, and walked through the decorated streets like the whole world had been dipped in magic. But sometimes, Evan noticed Lily staring into the distance, more quiet than usual, more worried. When he asked what was wrong, she just said, "I'm fine, just thinking." He didn't push, he trusted her, until the day she told him the truth. Chapter 5. The News. It was early December. They were sitting by the river, their breaths forming small clouds in the cold. Lily's hands were wrapped around a thermos of cocoa, but she wasn't drinking it. "I need to tell you something," she finally said. Evan's stomach tightened. "Okay," he responded. She took a breath, slow, shaky. "My dad, he got a job offer in Phoenix." Evan blinked. "Phoenix, as in Arizona?" She nodded. "When?" he whispered. "After Christmas." The river sounded louder, the wind sharper. Everything around them felt like it had shifted. So you're just leaving. His voice was quiet, but the hurt was impossible to hide. Lily's eyes filled with tears. I don't want to. I swear I don't. But my parents said it's important for my dad's work, and we can't stay. Evan looked at the ground, his heart cracking in ways he didn't know it could. Lily placed her hand on his. Evan, you're the best thing that's happened to me since we moved here. I don't want this to be goodbye. Then what is it? He whispered. She swallowed, wiping her eyes. A promise that this isn't the end, that someday, somehow, we'll see each other again. Evan looked at her then, really looked, and he saw the same fear and the same hope he was feeling himself. Okay, he said softly, then let's promise. They held hands, fingers intertwined, the cold biting at their skin. And together, they whispered the words that felt too big for their small lives. We'll find each other again. Chapter 6. The Final Days. The weeks leading up to Christmas passed too quickly. Every moment felt like it was slipping through their fingers. They watched movies together, walked the snowy streets, exchanged gifts. Evan gave Lily a sketch of the two of them sitting by the river. Lily gave Evan a small silver bracelet with a single charm, a star. For your sketches, she said, for your dreams. But there were also quiet moments, moments of sadness, when neither of them knew what to say. Moments when Lily leaned her head on Evan's shoulder and whispered, I wish I could stay. And he whispered back, me too. On the last night before she left, they met at the park. Snowflakes drifted around them like slow, quiet confetti. I don't want tomorrow to come, Evan said, voice cracking. Lily stepped closer, her breath warm in the cold air. I'll never forget you, not ever. He nodded, blinking fast. Promise? Promise. They hugged, long, shaking, as if trying to memorize the way it felt. And in the soft glow of the streetlight, Lily gently pressed her forehead to his. I love you, Evan, she whispered. It was the first time either of them had said it out loud, and the last time they would say it for a long while. I love you too, he said. Then she walked away, and Evan watched until she disappeared into the falling snow. Chapter 7. After. The next morning, she was gone. Her house was empty, her window dark, and Ridgewood felt different, quieter, as if a part of its light had moved away with her. Evan kept walking the paths they used to take, kept sitting under the oak tree, kept sketching the stars Lily loved so much. He missed her every single day, but he also remembered their promise. Their whispered vow beneath the winter sky. We'll find each other again. And somehow, that promise made the world feel less empty. Because even though they were young, only 14, only 15, they had felt something real. And real things don't fade. Real things wait. Chapter 8. Tomorrow. Years would pass. They both would grow. But somewhere, maybe under a Phoenix sunset, maybe beneath a Colorado sky, two hearts would still carry the memory of first love. The laughter, the promises, the winter night when they realized that goodbyes aren't always forever. Because when you truly love someone, even as a teenager, part of that love stays with you, shaping you, holding you, leading you back, someday, to where it all began. And Evan and Lily, their story wasn't over. It was only paused, waiting for the day they would meet again, when they would look at each other, older, braver, no longer kids, and say, I kept the promise.